Hey, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us today for our webinar, The Next Generation of the ClubHouse Online Mobile App. It's Thursdays are becoming my favorite days. They are webinar days here at Jonas, and we're happy to have you join us. And I'm lucky because I'm being joined today by my colleague, Matt. How you doing today, man?
Hey, Trevor, good. How are you?
Good, thanks. Yeah, so I'm Trevor Kluk. I'm the marketing manager at Jonas Club Software, and Matt is a director of inside sales. You want to just give a brief overview of your role, Matt?
Yep, absolutely. So, morning, everyone. I'm director of inside sales for our team. So I deal a lot with our web products, which is what we're going to be looking at today. Software, pretty much everything in between. Been with Jonas for going on 5 years now, and absolutely love what we do here. So excited to get this underway with Trevor.
Well, let's get into it. Before we get started into today's content, just want to go over the agenda and some housekeeping. Then we'll get into our actual mobile app portion of today, and we're going to do some Q&A at the end. So if you are interested, you have a specific question, just know that your line is muted today, and we will be asking you to use the chat or the Q&A section within GoToWebinar to submit those questions. We'll be monitoring those, and at the end, we're hopefully going to have enough time. We've given ourselves a good buffer today to answer a lot of questions, which we're probably expecting. We will be recording today's session, so if for some reason you have to leave or you want to share it with a colleague at the club, by all means, we'll be sending that out to you, and we'll hopefully have that within 24 hours. So let's take a look first at Jonas Club software. So I'm always surprised when I go out to trade shows and you talk to people who have used Jonas for a while. They're really knowledgeable about the specific part of the software that they are using on a day-to-day basis, but they just not be aware that we've got so many other things going on. And over the years, we've evolved as the needs of clubs has changed. We've been adding other brands and other technologies to our portfolio, and you can see on this screen here that we've got 13 brands now that make up our company, and within those we've kind of broken them down into 3 sections. And one of the ones that you're probably most familiar with are back office software products like Jonas Club Management, Jonas Encore. Maybe some of you even used Club Systems Groups in the past. And then we've also got our web products. This would be our ClubHouse Online websites, as well as today we're going to be speaking about that mobile app. And we also have our value-added brands, which we've done some webinars recently on, like Member Insight. We've spoken about Metrics First at the PGA and CMA Trends webinar, as well as Club Pay, which is a club payroll product. And if you take all these brands, we have about 250 employees, which is kind of crazy. And they're mostly located in North America. We do have some offices over in the UK as well. And if you take all of these companies, we have about 5,000 installations of our products. And we like to believe that the club is one big organization made up of many smaller businesses with under one roof, but they all share the same customer. And I've mentioned this on a few of the most recent webinars, that we try to make sure that this customer can go from business to business within your club, and that member file is accessible to everybody, so that you can share information. Everybody's up to date on what the member has been doing recently, whether it's they've got a court booking later that day, or maybe they've got an allergy when they're in the dining restaurant. We make sure that you can access that information. And you can see this big mobile device back here. That kind of leads to how we are making the member experience also accessible through the mobile device. And we're going to be focusing today. And I first just wanted to kind of set the stage, Matt, about the mobile app that we've had for a while. We actually started our first mobile app back in 2015. And today's webinar, I believe, is the biggest ever that we've had, the most registrants. So I think the mobile app's appetite or demand has just been consistently growing since 2015. We have about 700 installations right now of the current mobile app, and I think we can, based on today's registrants, that there's a lot of other clubs out there that are probably looking for this technology. A recent report that I've shared in a previous webinar by our friends at GGA Partners mentioned that the largest growing demographic of club members in 2022 has been Generation X. And I think that's really important to today's conversation, because these new members, the Generation X, the 35 to 50-year-old, they've probably had a mobile app enabled device for going on 10 years now. So when they join a club, I think it's fair to believe that they've got an expectation that they can interact with their club the same way that they're interacting with other businesses in their life, whether that's booking a vacation for their family or making a reservation to go out for dinner, and even shopping online. These are all things that people are doing with their phone, and they're doing it through an app on their phone. So when they come and join the club, they probably want to do the similar types of things. And I first want to kick things off by asking everybody who's on the line just this simple question. So you're going to see a poll jump up here on GoToWebinar. You should see it shortly. And I'm going to give you, 10 seconds to answer this question. It's pretty straightforward. Do you have a mobile app at your club currently? All right, give it a couple more seconds here. We've got about 73% of attendees have voted. All right, I'm going to stop that. All right, so this is kind of interesting. We've got 75 people of those who answered the poll said that they already have a mobile app, and there's 25 who don't. So that leads me to believe that everybody kind of already believes that there is a need for this at their club. And those of you who are joining that don't have a mobile app have probably seen the requests come in from members, or maybe you're just interested in kind of what use cases the mobile app has. And we'll dive into that throughout the webinar. So why are we launching the next generation version of this mobile app? Well, one thing that we've been hearing a lot of from both our clients and people who are interested in the mobile app is a desire for more control over how the digital touch points of their clubs look. And so they want to really provide that high level of service through a digital touch point that they do at the club. And we've seen club websites evolve over the last 5-6 years to now become like beautiful interactive experiences, full screen, wide, nice photos of the club. Often we see drone videos, and even 3D tours are featured on websites where you can go right through a club. And I really think that now we're just seeing a demand for club apps to kind of catch up and really give that visual appeal that websites have taken on. Also, clubs have been asking for more flexibility for the user interface. So, one club might want to see a list of events as soon as a club member logs into the app, whereas, another club might want to see the ability to book a tea time or make a dining reservation. And so being able to pick and choose what members see when they log in has been something that we've added to this new customization. And with customization, our new app comes with a new step in the process, which we haven't had in the past, which is a design phase. So a club will be able to actually work with an agency, with our team, to decide what their club is going to do and make their club app unique. So in addition to that, we've added some really cool new features, which Matt is going to get into in more detail once we actually show the demo. But one of the things that I wanted to point out is the biometric sign-in. So if you use a mobile device that has biometric sign-in, you're probably familiar with facial recognition or thumbprint recognition. So now when you go to use the Club mobile app, your member would sign in, and then they would have the ability to turn on facial recognition so that the next time they don't even have to worry about signing in. It'll just recognize their thumbprint or face, and it'll open. Some other cool things include some content-only pages that are created specific for the app. So in the past, you might have had to use kind of a web page and then have that get mimicked on the app, whereas now you can make unique custom pages that are designed with better user interfaces for the mobile app. And the new mobile app will have the ability to take advantage of some of the really cool developments that Apple iOS and Google Android are continuously bringing out. So if there's some kind of new feature that native to Apple or native to Android, the new app will be able to hopefully take advantage of that. And the last thing I wanted to touch on before we actually get into the demo is how our new app will still have these full integration that you would expect with your ClubHouse Online mobile website. So if you have a bunch of modules that your members have started to get accustomed to using to book dining, to book tea times, these are still going to be available on the mobile app, and they're still going to have the same kind of process that your member has gone through, which is really important because when you think about getting your members to adopt the mobile app and use it, you want to make sure that it's intuitive and that they're not going to have to learn a new process of how to book things on it. So by keeping that same integration, it's going to make the adoption rates a lot easier and a lot smoother. So hopefully I've kept your attention and piqued your curiosity a bit, because I'm sure you actually came for this next part of the presentation, which is diving into the demo, which now I'm going to hand it over to Matt, and he's going to show you some of the cool things that the app has.
All right, can you hear me still? Microphone's good?
You're sounding good, buddy. I'm just going to give you screen control here.
Let me know once you're good. And while Trevor's passing over, there were a couple of questions that have come up, like, will these features be automatically updated in our current app? So this is actually a separate version. It is our new release for the mobile app, so it is going to be different. And then Trevor, can you confirm? Can you see my screen up there right now? Just my phone.
We can see it now. Yeah.
Excellent, perfect. So that's one thing. So this is different than your version. This is brand new for Jonas. So this is something that you'll work with your local account manager who calls upon you guys, and we'll get that information out after the end of the call too. So the other one as well too. There's a couple other questions which we will get into those afterwards as well. But jumping into it right now, I'm going to go and open up the app. You see I have a bunch of Grace ones on there. The one I'm going to open up today is our actual live demonstration app. So this is, you can download this and explore this as well on your own time if you want to get into more details on here. But this version of it, this is one of our versions that we have available. So this is kind of a landscape photo. As you see on my screen, it looks pretty smooth. So I'm hoping it's moving smooth across the broadcast there. But it's a nice overview shot of the club. The same thing with tea times on there, gate access. Those are all quick links that are configurable. So if you don't want tea times on there, if you don't have gate access, there's other points you can put on there. I've had clubs ask, well, can we have our member card accessible right from the screen, because we use it for check-in at the POS, fitness center, a bunch of different areas. So you can put your digital member card with a quick link on there. Then across the bottom ribbon, we have book, eat, my bookings, event, and membership. You still have your same drop-down menu up top as well, which we'll get into each one of those different areas. But from a navigation standpoint, our branded app we have now is a pretty set tile. So it doesn't really have those nested bookings and reservations, which you're going to see once we open it up here and get into the actual app from the navigation standpoint. So everything you see on here is customizable. Even this view, if you do want to go with the tile view, you can do a tile view on here where it's easier to call out those specific reservations opposed to having those nested underneath these areas. Now, getting into it, the first one we're going to click on, so you can't really see my hand or my finger moving on the screen here, is going to be the book down there on the bottom left. And this has all of our particular demo sites, booking and reservations nested underneath one area, which I'll dive into those again here in a moment. But I just want to show those different tabs across the bottom. So booking, all your reservations that you can get to from there. Eat is going to be everything that's food and beverage related. These are two specific modules within Jonas or online ordering, which is integrated with their point of sale, as well as their dining reservations. But you menu PDFs in here, hours of operation. What I was getting to is these are the bookings and reservations that they signed up for. So everything underneath that book tab will show up on their bookings. If I want to jump back to the home screen, I just have to hit the little home button up there on top. And then as well, all my nested items. So if there's something that you don't have within either membership, bookings, dining, it will be available underneath that extended menu option in there. So you can include additional components. Now, looking at one of these particularly, Tea Time, this is going to launch the Tea Time reservation system through Jonas, through the JCM Tea Sheet. So this is going to sync up with the back office application. If I want to go in now and say, let's see what we have for Saturday, I can click on Saturday. This is going to bring up our options, and I've already configured some groups in here. So 822 looks perfect. You'd never see a T sheet this open on the weekends, but for today's sake, we do. But you see, I do have some groups in here. So I want my Learn to Golf group, which is appropriate for my skill level there. I have now Roger, which is the demo member that I'm booked in as. I have Mr. Lamanna, Mr. LaPierre, and myself on this tee time. And then I can go in, get a little captcha on there to make sure that it's not a spam booking, and then book now. I get my confirmations. Depending on my internet connection here, we'll probably see that booking reservation and confirmation pop up on the screen as well too. But those are just some of the booking options as well. If I go into booking an appointment over here, I didn't have that nested underneath my booking screen, but these are some additional options. So this is tied in with our appointment booking module, golf lessons, personal trading on here, tennis lessons, and just like our tee time management, as Trevor mentioned earlier, these two components of it are integrated with the back office. So if they know how to do it on the PC, on their desktop, on their tablet, they're going to know how to do it on the mobile device. So it's cohesive between all those different environments. So if I want to go into personal trading here, I can select that option. Once again, I can pick the date. I know I'm golfing on Saturday, so let's see what we can do on Sunday. I'll pick a provider there. You know, Kiana's really good. I want a 45-minute personal training, and then I can scroll down and see the availability on here. The good part about this is I did select Sunday, but let's say Kiana doesn't work at the club on Sundays. It's going to give me a calendar view as well, so I can see future dates. So I don't have to keep running a search again. Be like, is she there on Sunday? Nope. Is she there on Monday? Nope. And this makes it a little bit easier from the member booking perspective. And then just like tee times, I can go in there, book this one. This allows me to bring up to 2 registrants. Tee times are 4. And if you have an event at the club and you say one member can sign up to 9 other people with them, you'd set your registration limit to 10 in there. I can add any special requests. This goes for tee times, events, food allergies, dining. This is applicable across all the modules. Somebody booked spinning on here, and now I can click book. And now I have booked my personal training there with Kiana. Using this with Jonas as well too. Kiana, there being a provider, she can have access to the app as well, so she will get notifications too when these types of appointments are being booked. But the main thing here that I did want to look at really was the customization that we can get through into the layout, showing those different features into it. And this is one version of it. The really unique part about this is your app for your club is not going to look like anybody else's. So this is a very customizable option for you. So it comes really down to the aesthetics of this different option. Different integrations as well too, keeping it all within the mobile app environment. So if it is going through and you need to emulate a web page on here, it stays within the mobile app. It doesn't pull out and open up a new browser on your tab, on your phone, on your tablet, etc. So it does keep it native within the app. But that's really it. Notifications all fall underneath Message Center. Bookings, confirmations, booking reminders. You can set up push notifications as well too to say, hey, just a reminder, it's Thursday night chef special is X, Y, and Z. Get here by 5 p.m. to have a seat. So you can do those types of confirmations and reminders all via push as well too. But after that, I mean, I'll leave this open. If there are questions pertaining to it, I'm pretty good right now, Trevor, to open up into questions here. And can you say something to make sure that the audio is working again on my end?
Yeah, you sound great.
Okay, very good.
I was just going to take us quickly through kind of a comparison of features that we often see are asked for in one of our competitors, and just going to take the screen back here. So these are some of the key kind of things that we often hear about. Push notifications is one that everybody wants, and that is available in our new app. One thing that's really cool is the automated members roster sync allows you to make sure that if you have any new members, they're going to be added up to the app. So once they've got their login credentials, they're going to be able to log in as soon as they download it from the App Store. But if for some reason they left the club and you needed to remove them, that's going to be, once they've been removed from Jonas, they'll be removed from the app as well. Same with online food ordering. Our point of sale integration with online food ordering is one of the really cool features of this, that you sent an order through and it's going to go to your POS, versus our competitor where that is unfortunately not available. Calendar events, Matt kind of already showed us that. Online statements is another great feature where your members will be able to review and pay their statements right through the app. Dining reservations, and an online tee sheet and appointment booking are unique in that, again, because of our integration right through to point of sale, if there's any additional costs with their online tee time booking, whether that's reserving carts or maybe drawing down on a prepaid, that will be able to be pushed from a tee time reservation right through to the point of sale, which is an extra step if you're using a competitor app. And Matt, please jump in if there's anything I'm missing on those.
Yeah.
One of the other cool things that maybe a lot of people don't even realize is available is the online tournament bracket. So if your club hosts a match play event, or maybe you have a pickleball tournament, you can set that up right within the app so that you can track, matches, who's won, who's moving on, and your members can follow along. Also online class registrations. So if you've got classes at your club that span over multiple weeks, members can come right into the app and book those. Valet requests, I saw one of the questions, Matt, come in with a club has a shuttle and they have a members have to call to request a shuttle. Yep. Well, if you set that up in the app, they could send a message through the app and then have someone respond back to them to say that the shuttle's on the way. Yep. So this is a interesting one. Who's at the club? Being able to give a overview of who's actually at the club at a given time. So this is something that we're looking into, and it uses location services, which would require geofencing around your club, but it is a very talked about thing that we're investigating. And the staff directory, definitely available in there, and mobile keys. So we saw on our homepage on our demo version that we had gate access. So this is something we've already got in beta with a few clubs we're testing, and it's one of those really cool things that takes advantage of that, like I said, native iOS and native Android functionality that our old app wasn't able to. So I know the questions are coming in really fast and furious. So we can take we got enough time to get through a lot of these. Matt, I saw one that was asking just about the design and if we were showing kind of a dark mode version. And I just wanted to quickly answer and say that the colors and everything that you saw Matt show, those are all customizable. So when you go through that design phase, you're going to be able to choose, based on your branding, what you want the colors to be, whether that's on the navigation or the buttons. So that wasn't exactly a dark mode. It was just the design choices that we made for our demo app.
Perfect. Thanks, Trevor.
Another question, this one probably best for you, Matt, is what kind of integrations will be available through the app, whether it's for booking tee times with a third-party tee time provider or anything like that?
So a lot of the integrations through here, taking a web page, any web page, and pulling it within the app, that is going to work. Those integrations depend on kind of the back office side of things with Jonas as well as the website. So a lot of the ones that we do have set up are referred to as SSO or single sign-on. So the member booking experience is if they go and opt out to a third party, which does require a login and a password to get into. If we don't have an SSO set up with them currently, a lot of the big ones we do. But if we don't, that's something our team will look into. And it really purely comes down to the member experiences. If I go to book a tee time and it's through a third-party option, is the member doesn't have to set up yet again another username and password. It will bring them through automatically into that already logged in and ready to go. So, yep, that's the integration level that we have from the web perspective and the member experience.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the questions that came in is regarding if anybody is using the ClubHouse Online app now, is there any way that they can kind of figure out which features are used most, and when they go to upgrade, what they should customize within their app to, maybe put on the homepage, or how can they know maybe what the features that they should be putting front and center are?
Yep, absolutely. So work with your local rep, and there's all those reports as well too within Jonas you have access to. So you can look up all your bookings and reservation logs to see what the most utilized ones are. Either way, our team as well too, like myself, I can get into some of those statistics too for you. But the big ones, I mean, the big three always that you're going to want generally on your home screen. I mean, viewing their statements and online payments, that kind of component to it, you're always going to want that on your home screen. A calendar of events is also usually going to be the number one. Tea times also generally going to be part of that home screen. So the way you did see that nested though on ours, like the booking, the eat, my bookings, events, that kind of stuff, that's a really easy way to go in and be able to direct them to all those components of it. So if there's one that might be higher than the other in terms of what's being utilized more, you could definitely have that quick link specifically for like tea times or view my statement. But being able to nest everything under book still gives them access to everything within the mobile app.
Right. This is a really good question, and I can take it. So will this app be called Jonas Clubhouse Online in the App Store, or will it be our own unique app? And this will be your own unique app. So you will actually go through the process of getting an Apple developer account. So whether you're going to have your app in the App Store for iOS or in the Android Play Store, the Google Play Store, it will be your logo, your app, and you'll direct your members to go search for your club, and they'll be able to find it and download it. Is the message center a chat function or a log of notifications? Also wondering what the next steps are to get rolling and updating. So maybe just briefly touch on how the message center works, and we can address the kind of two-way messaging as well.
Yep. So the message center piece of it that we saw when I went into there, that is purely push notifications. So that's confirmations, reminders, as well as any of the, hey, Thursday night chef special. To take that to a level further, the confirmations and reminders are automated. I sign up for a tea time, I'm going to get that confirmation. If you set up a reminder 24 hours in advance, 1 hour in advance, those types of reminders will once again be automatic. So those will go without having to go in and physically do anything to it. Anything outside of that, though, you can go to two avenues for it. So there is going to be the native app backend, and then there's also through ClubHouse Online where you can go and send those push notifications. So within that, through ClubHouse Online, you can target individual members. You can create groups. So if you have a summer 2023 youth activity planning group and you need to let them all know, hey, the meeting room's been booked for tonight. We are rescheduling for 6 p.m. instead of 5 p.m. You can go in there and target those specific members, create them as a list. So every time you have to send something out to them, you can use them. Set individuals, you can do membership typing classification, or I should say membership status or classification in there as well. So you can go and say, I want to target all of my social members that are active. And then you can send a notification to just them, or I want to target everybody and let them know that due to excessive rain, it's cart path only until Sunday. So there's plenty of options in there for that type of communication. But within the app, those are messages going to the member. So that's the one-way communication from that side.
Yeah, so on the messaging between members or even between staff and members, if you're looking for that two-way. So one of the cool things that I spoke to our R&D team about recently is they're actually looking to integrate some of the native messaging that your phone probably already has, whether if you're on an Apple device, that could be iMessages, or maybe you're using a WhatsApp. And rather than build a completely new messaging system within the app itself, there could be a way that we're going to actually prompt you to use some of the messaging that you already have on your native device to message directly with members and between staff. This is a good question. So once the app has been customized, the club's really happy with the way the app looks. Once they've launched, how much future UI changes would be possible? And would they be able to do it themselves, or how much would have to be, sent back for request with the development team?
Yep. So you got that one, Trevor?
Go for it.
Okay. So that's kind of two ends to it. So just like your website through Jonas, if you want to make changes to it, it is your website. You can make those changes. If you want to have, like, we have a nice palm tree picture there, so they probably don't experience winter within our demo app. But if you want to have an image that's more based for season, because you're a seasonal club, you can go in there and change those pieces of it. Now, you can link your web pages through Jonas, or there is a content management system through the mobile app as well too, where you can go in and make those changes. The question popped up if we can take a look at that today. Just because of timing's sake, we won't be able to. However, If you do book another call with myself or your rep that calls on the club, we can certainly get into the back end on the content management side of it. But it is your app. You can make those changes that you want to on there. Granted, like me, if I don't do something for 6 months, I'm probably going to forget how to do it. So we do have support side that can help with those pieces too. Generally, a lot of the changes through the website I'm pretty familiar with. So if it's something as simple as updating hours of operation, changing an image on there, I can show you how to do those pieces as well too. And the majority of your account managers will be able to assist with that as well.
Yeah, and one thing we should note too is that if you were to make significant changes to the UI where you're actually changing the design, because it is an app that lives in an app store, they do have to go through a resubmission to the app store, and this is no matter what app service provider or app design company you're working with, it always has to get resubmitted. So that's just something to keep in mind. Whereas like what Matt was saying, if you're making changes to a page, there are going to be lots of ways to make custom content that can always change. But if you wanted to start the app new, it would have to be resubmitted to the app store again. One, I think, important question was, Matt, do we need to have a ClubHouse Online website to have a ClubHouse Online mobile app?
Yep, I'll answer that one. So yes, you do have to have a ClubHouse Online website. The reason for that is because member validation based off your back office is based upon member number and name. They're going to validate their account. So that's what's going to tie in those specific statement pieces, booking and reservations. So it's what allows them to be recognized within the ClubHouse Online environment as well within the mobile app. So it's the same username and password to get into both. So they do have to have a direct to login Jonas ClubHouse Online website. You can have whatever you want on your front end or your public website, but once they click that member login button, it does have to be into a Jonas ClubHouse Online environment.
So this is a pretty, I think, straightforward question, but if let me just go back here. The questions are coming in so fast, they're like moving up. Yes, the recording will be made available after this, just so everybody knows. Is it possible for the club to customize navigation links, etc. themselves, or it must be done by Jonas? I think that will be based on the navigation flexibility. You'll be able to change the navigation as required. As you add, different content pages to your app, you'll definitely be able to change the navigation. Another question that came in was regarding, will the ability to make the pages, the back end, be different than the current CMS that is used to update the app? And yes, you can actually go into the mobile app specific portal to build out new content pages that will be updated and different than what you're currently using. And let me just see here. So we have a few questions asking about, can you maybe show how some of the specific booking modules would look, such as online ordering? If that's something that you're interested in, you definitely will probably recommend you follow up with your local account manager, because they'll be able to give you, an in-depth demo of those specific booking applications. I guess we should talk now, Matt, because there's a few questions coming in about like what comes next and what the process is like, timelines. If they've got a current app, what does it look like to go and make the transition to update to this new version?
Yeah, absolutely. So the way that the process, once again, you talk with your account manager, somebody like me, and then we go through. If you are using the custom branded version app within Jonas today, basically the cost difference to upgrade to this one is taking out what you're currently paying for that application, and then it is what the new addition will be. If you are net new on this, it is a one-time $4,000 design that is going to encompass the training, the content. It's going to be hands-on with your team, so it's not just here's a template, this is what you get. It is purely customizable on that end. you'll learn how to use as well to the content management system. So if you do want to change the button from tee times to say tee time request because you're running a lottery now 7 days a week opposed to just a regular tee time button, that's part of that training. And then the annual support for this is $6,000 a year. Is that supports the application, those updates, and all that stuff that comes along with that piece of it. So future enhancements as well too. Timelines, forgot about that one. Timelines is always a big one. It's probably right around, I'd say, 8 to 10 weeks to get this up and running and live. Now, if you're going through a full website design process with Jonas, obviously there's a little difference in that piece of it as well too. But in terms of content, to log into, this app does have, and I always want to mention this, I meant to do it earlier, is before even logging in, if you have information you want to get out there from a prospect level or just general information about the club, of hours of operations, directions, contact, membership information, etc., you can have non-members download the application if you want to and have that on more of the public side of the app as well. But yeah, so plan on 8 to 10 weeks or so, depending on seasonality with that timelines on this piece.
And I was actually just speaking to our head of implementation for the app just before the webinar, just to kind of see what his updates are on implementation. And he was saying that, you know, over a certain normal time period, we can predict the timelines, but with so many people interested in this webinar, we had close to 300 people registered, that it is probably going to be a surge. So it's always on a first come first serve basis. So if you are interested in getting this app launched this season at some point in the summertime, we encourage you to reach out to your account manager as soon as possible, so that you know you're not at the back of the queue, because we do expect a high demand. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say another pop through. Jordan just asked if the current version of your app is completely fine. It's not going to go away. However, if you do transition to this one, there will be the transition period where the members would have to download the new one, save the username and password just when it goes live. But your current app with Jonas it's not going away or anything like that, so you are fine.
A few kind of easy ones. Will push notifications work if members have alerts turned off? Those push notifications will probably not show up on their lock screen, for example, on their device, but they will still be available in the message center within the app itself. Is the admin portal web-based? Yes, it is. If you're making content pages, that will be through a web page. Will members have to delete the current app and re-download the new one? No, the current app that you're currently using will still live on until you decide to remove it from the App Store, and then you'll be able to direct your members to download the new one. And see if there's anything else that we haven't really covered here yet. So one thing that we've been asked a bunch of times is, does the Graceland app have a login that people can try to explore the app on their own? We can reach out to you directly if you'd like to see the back end and provide you with that login credential. So if that's something you're interested in, please reach out to your account manager and they can set you up with login credentials. That is all the time we have for today. We're so appreciative of all the questions, but one thing that we do have left, once this webinar is done, you will see a survey pop up. We'd appreciate if you could just take the 2 seconds to answer the one survey question that we did pose. And if you have any additional questions or you want to know more or get a more thorough demo from your account manager, you can either reach out to Matt or myself, or if you have their contact information, please reach out directly and we'll be happy to get in touch. So thanks everybody. Just a reminder that we do a new webinar each week. Next week we'll be covering metrics first, so you'll be seeing an invite for that coming out in the next probably day or two. And like I said, we will be sending out the recording of this in hopefully the next 24 hours so that you can either review or share with anyone at your club. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you so much for joining me, Matt, and thanks to everybody on the line for joining. And best of luck as we get closer into the northern season. We're almost there.
Getting there. Thanks, everyone.
Talk to you. Bye-bye.